your parasympathetic nervous system, okay, kicks in. Why? Because that is the relax response mechanism in the brain. So if you consciously activate your relaxation response mechanism with something that would normally be stressful for you, you actually deactivate the fear center in the brain, the amygdala. And you actually open up your thinking center of your brain, the genius part of your brain that can actually override the fear center of the brain. It's a small little mechanism that you can just learn how to do. So I say you do both. Not one or. You learn both. Go back and upgrade your knowledge skills. Why am I
Out. Does anyone know why I have all these little stringy things? Am I not detangling properly? Am I using the wrong products? All you experts out there, help me. Hi, Square Huxtable peeps. I know it's long overdue. I've been busy building a wealth management, financial services, and insurance solutions practice from scratch. Those who know how time-consuming that can be. So I'm sorry I haven't finished my Sierra Leone trip videos. I'm on it now. I have promised you guys a couple more videos. I will deliver them. And I'm going to do daily vlogs. I realize it's easier for me to provide content that way because there's a lot less editing involved, and that's the time-consuming part. And this is the thing. They're still going to be focused on the main purpose of this channel, which is to unify the African diaspora with Africa, to dispel a lot of the lies that have been told about us and our people. Better yet, not to expose the lies, to uncover the truths about the Black community, the African community. So even my daily vlogs, that's going to be the through line throughout them all. I do not think that I'm that interesting that you want to just see my life. I have a purpose and I have a message. And a lot of the research that I'm doing will come out through my blogs. A lot of the downloads I've been getting will come out through the blogs instead of just standalone videos, if that makes sense. It's a lot easier to kind of just be like, oh, this is a book. I learned this and that throughout my day. Cool. I hope you're blessed. I hope you guys are getting edification and unity, and I'm going to do some lives this year so we can all get on and talk together about what's going on. There's been so much that happened in 2023 pertaining to a lot of the topics that I talk about on Square Huxtable, especially spirituality and whether we are the true Hebrews, Jews, Israelites, Bantus, whatever that word, chosen people in the Bible. You know, that kind of broke mainstream with Kyrie Irving posting Hebrews to Negroes, and then Yay saying it. I think Nick Cannon said it, you know, a couple other mainstream people. I worked in the entertainment industry. I come from that world. I know a lot of spiritual people think everyone there is the Antichrist. I don't think everyone in the entertainment industry is evil. Do I think there's a strong evil undertow and presence? Yes. But I'd be a hypocrite because I know I'm not evil, and I worked in the entertainment. I was a TV producer for 15 years. Yeah, and I know there's a lot of people like me. You know, I've left the entertainment industry and now I'm in finance, which is another industry a lot of people think is perverse and corrupt, but I've actually been able to serve and help more people than in a year than I have, I feel like, in TV. No, that's not true, because the show I did, Up Yout in Jamaica, really helped hundreds and hundreds of people cope with a lot of different realities.
Talk Up Yout TV show is giving the youth a voice and, most importantly, changing and saving lives.
We have to get better at exposing people to where the opportunities are. But at the same time, they have to grab it.
Building a business is not easy. It requires a lot of effort. It means you're going to have to sacrifice a lot.
Airing on Jamaica's leading TV station, TVJ, and on the Talk Up Yout YouTube channel. In 2019, Stanley and Empress Productions will keep the Day in the Life format to delve further into youth issues, youth solutions, and the power of mentorship.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, man just sit down and get on them, no one did not with them life, but that's not really the thing. For us sometimes is, how.
For the past decade, Talk Up Yout has revolutionized the way media can be used responsibly to inspire and empower, and has become a brand that Jamaican youth love, feel understood by, and a part of.
And this is my story.
And this is my story.
Because this is my story.
National Baking Company and Wisynco have helped Stanley and Empress Productions make a difference. Will you?
So, anywho, I'm rambling. Just wanted to let you know I'm back. Square Huxtable is back. You're gonna get vlogs. You're gonna get messages. You're gonna get a lot of the stuff I'm learning, even the self-development tools. I'll make sure that I give you guys the gems, save you guys the time. Some of the gems: one, what's right by my bed is a journal. Scripting is something that I've incorporated. Meditation is something I've incorporated. But, we'll go into some of the videos of the tangible things of like how to meditate and how to script. This does not negate prayer or, anything you do spiritually to manifest and change your life. It's just added, to me, disciplines, habits. It's those Atomic Habits. That's a great book. One of my favorites that I read last year, where it's really about the little things that we change that make the big changes in our life. What else? Yeah, we'll go deeper and deeper. A lot of I'll give you guys some of the self-development people that I've been listening to and following. One of the self-development gurus, you're probably wondering what I was watching to when I woke up this morning, is John Assaraf. He's from The Secret, but he also has basically a brain gym, the neuro gym, and he really talks about how to retrain your brain. Like, listen to this.
It's called the 4R process. Recognize is first. Reframe is the way I'm looking at something. And because we are monofocused, the brain cannot focus consciously on more than one thing at a time. All right? It can get distracted to that thing, then this thing, then that thing, then this thing. The art of multitasking is actually one of the worst things that you can do from a neurological perspective. Highly successful people are able to monofocus on the right things. So when you learn to reframe your brain's ability to look at this, then look at this, then look at this, but stay focused on what it is that you're looking at, you see different perspectives of it. The next part is to release the emotional stress that most people's brains are under. How do we get into this emotional stress? Well, when we have fears, there's 50 different types of fears. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of disappointment, fear of being embarrassed, fear of being ashamed, fear of being ridiculed, fear of fill in the blank. When our brain goes on these automatic fear circuit drives, then we're in a state of fight or flight. In a state of fight or flight, over a course of a day, a week, a month, our ability to actually use our thinking center, the left prefrontal cortex of our brain, actually diminishes. Our brain gets hijacked into this fight or flight response system over and over and over and over and over again. And that response system is actually pretty healthy initially to get you going and out of the gate. But if you are always in this fight or flight response mechanism, you're on this hamster wheel, you actually start to get burnt out. and you can't think. You can't use the genius part of your brain. You can't really activate the part of you that connects to the entire universe of intelligence within you and outside of you. And so you learn to release that tension to be able to put the foot back on the gas, change the gear. If you think about what happens when you're driving a stick shift car, you put your foot on the gas in first gear and the car just goes. But if you keep your foot on the gas in first gear, you're going to burn out the engine. So what happens in the release part of using your brain is you go from first gear, pause, second gear, pause, third gear, pause. You're able to use the engine more efficiently to go faster. Exact same thing with our brains. If we learn how to release the tension and switch gears, release the tension, switch gears, that's the art of release and go. And that causes the fourth R, and that's we retrain our brain to operate at higher levels of our intelligence, genius, and abilities.
That's awesome. I love that.
That's a long-winded answer for you.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic. That was a gem. But back to what we were talking about. Okay, because it's a tricky thing with self-development, you know, between spiritual people and then like scientific people, right? My mom is an organic chemist. She was a professor at Wellesley College growing up, and then she was the dean of arts and sciences or some type of sciences at William Patterson University in New Jersey. Very bright, brilliant, intelligent woman. She is my idol, hands down. I got that science background from her in terms of like everything. To me, everything actually, like even in the Bible and spiritual, can be defined with science and vice versa. They're actually very similar. And so quantum physics is something that I've really been studying this past year, and just reprogramming your subconscious, because, you know, our subconscious and our conscious minds, they don't necessarily work together. And your subconscious is the one that's really driving you. And that's the one that you're not really aware of necessarily how it's been programmed. And especially like 1 through 7 years old, a lot of the stuff that we were taking in is what really programmed that subconscious. And so the ways to reprogram it is something that I learned, which was pretty profound. You can kind of do self-hypnosis, where your brain goes into different states from alpha to beta. Beta might not be right, but to theta. And theta is when you're most susceptible for change. Your subconscious is most susceptible, and you go into theta right as you're falling asleep. So therefore, listen to positive things to reprogram that subconscious while you're falling asleep. To me, that is like the biggest tool. So I've just started to do that, and there's plenty of others that I'm going to give you along the way. So really and truly, if our mission is to unify and to find our rightful place in the world, you can incorporate those into whatever you're listening to. I'm going to come out with some very profound statements about some of our leaders and our thought leaders, and in this movement. Julius Malema right now is like who I'm following, and I love what he's doing in South Africa and in Africa, and for all of us in the diaspora.
We must love ourselves. Black people are hated everywhere. You go to America, you go to Britain, you go to Europe, everywhere. How can we be hated all over and still be hated at home, where we're supposed to love one another and struggle together and hold each other's hand and say to those who are suffering, we suffered like you. One day you will get your freedom. And when you get your freedom, we will rejoice together. Let us defend the unity of Africa. Kwame Nkrumah fought for this unity. Julius Nyerere fought for this unity. Gaddafi, Robert Sobukwe, Steve Biko, Winnie Mandela, Chris Hani, Robert Mugabe fought for this unity. Why must we be divided as Africans?
He came from the teachings of Winnie Mandela, which is another powerful leader that I admire. But I will start pointing out, I do think scientifically we need to be more focused on what we're trying to attain than what we're trying to overcome. So, you know, a lot of people who believe in manifestation or vibrating or frequencies understand, like, you attract what you are or what you're thinking or what you say. You know, the Bible says, this is one of my favorite scriptures, so be careful what comes out of your tongue. Therefore, we need to speak what we want. And so we need to lead that way. So I'm going to really I am going to be very particular about the words and the messages that come through this channel. And I implore all of you amazing people on YouTube, on all these different channels and platforms that are spreading all this goodness and positivity, to be very conscious. Because sometimes I've noticed, even some people that I've recommended on this channel, I do notice a kind of negative undertone, and this is no disrespect whatsoever. We just need to be careful of not just always talking about the problem. We can talk about that same problem, but talk about it in a different way. That's really talking about the solution. I'm not doing a good job of explaining myself for here, but I will in future videos. So make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're not subscribed. We're building a very amazing community. See you guys soon.